Well, here we are, yet again. It's another McCrazy Talk podcast. This is McCrazy Talk, Season 1, Episode 11.
No.
Is lamb.
Episode lamb.
Episode 11. My name is Mark McCrazy.
I'm Indy B.
DJ Menace.
We are a longtime morning team and decided to do a podcast. If you just joined us, talking about the most ridiculous stories of the week. And there's never, ever a shortage.
Nope.
Okay. With the news cycle being bombarded by, police officers running into people's apartments and killing them, and our president lying his ass off,
And
there's stories that you're missing. So we're going to go ahead and talk about said stories.
And he went ham today. Like, we could fill this whole podcast with president talk.
Oh, he went ham, didn't he? He's
went
off the
ham
rails.
today.
Even CNN posted, he said, he's tired of the Democrats' bullshit. They
Yeah,
wrote
not
it on
BS.
CNN. They put bullshit.
Very presidential. But anyway, we won't be talking about that in this podcast.
No.
We'll be talking about how a guy says he has the perfect alibi for speeding. This is why I was a speeding officer. Did you know 46% of people wish what was never invented? Ever.
I can guess.
Electronic billboards, they've been invented. They're awesome until it displays something that it shouldn't. Probably a disgruntled person down there at the billboard place. And also, show and tell at this elementary school didn't go so well for this 8-year-old.
Oh, boy.
We'll start with that story, shall we?
Okay.
An Oklahoma mom was shocked after getting a call from her son's school telling her that he had brought something to class in his backpack and showed the children.
Sex toy.
No.
That's what I thought.
No, it was a dead squirrel. Found a dead squirrel on the way to work and said, well, look here, Rocky, let's go right here in this bag.
Perfect. I did not have show and tell. Now I have show and tell.
I tell you, God always provides.
Sometimes God just be showing off.
I don't know what I'm going to do for show and tell. Ooh, dead squirrel. Put it in the backpack.
Ew.
That sounds like an Oklahoma story. It does.
I got to choose between the squirrel or possum. I guess I'll do the squirrel.
No, I think he's going to grow up to be a little different.
If he killed the squirrel, yes.
No, he did not kill the squirrel.
You picking up dead squirrel, something not right.
If he dissected that squirrel, you got a serial killer.
Yeah, exactly. Prostitute calls the cops after a customer demands the refund. I guess he was unsatisfied with the street squish he just purchased and said, I want my damn money back.
Every dime.
She said, hookers don't give refunds.
Well, isn't the customer always right?
Not in this case, right? Services have been rendered. Herpes has been distributed.
Right.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Right. Shame has been felt.
Right. Take this damn HPV and get out my face. Anyway, he wouldn't stop complaining. Cops are called. And cops said, well, now listen, now both of y'all going to jail.
Yeah.
Of course.
What made her think that was going to work
Neither
out?
one of them should have called.
Did you hear about this vendor? Beer vendor used a personal card reader to do something terrible to the Dolphins fan.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Dolphins fans are already going through hell. Mm-hmm. The Dolphins are terrible. And then you're going to go ahead and do this to them? Here's the news story.
A beer vendor is accused of charging a person $724 for 2 beers at the Dolphins game this past Sunday. Police say 33-year-old Nathaniel Collier of Orlando used a personal credit card reader to conduct the inflated transaction inside Hard Rock Stadium. The victim did not realize the charge until he got a message from his credit card company. No word on if police are looking for other victims.
$724 for a couple Land Shark beers. If you've been to that stadium, and some of our listeners have, they have crappy beer.
This ain't worth 10% of that. These beers ain't worth $7.24.
I'm trying to think at what point he thought he was going to get away with
Or
that.
1%, I should say. What's that?
At what point did he think he was going to get away with that?
I don't know.
How?
Idiot.
Yeah, especially when you commit the crime where you work.
Right.
You ever see that video of that lady rolling up to the girl at Starbucks? It's this lady's in the drive-thru at Starbucks, and she pulls up to the little girl at the window. She's like, hey, last week you took my card info and you went on a
I remember
shopping
that story.
spree."
Oh, yeah.
And the girl's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Ain't no sorry,
Ain't
bitch.
no sorry. You wasn't sorry when you was in Forever 21 buying all that shit.
Wow.
Buying
Scary
Wu-Tang shirts and you
times,
ain't heard a
scary
Wu-Tang song.
Well, we've been waiting on a lot of court cases to go through the gears. I know we've been waiting on the verdict in the Amber Geiger case, but this is
Yeah.
another court case I've been watching very closely.
Okay.
This one in Wisconsin. They finally made a decision on whether or not driving drunk on a riding lawnmower is the same as a vehicle.
Hey, we need to know this.
Yeah, I mean, these are the questions that are being asked. And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. You can't do that. A victory for the common person that may be subjected to somebody on a riding mower.
You may not get into like a high-speed crash, but you have a blade underneath this thing you're driving that is
Yeah.
spinning thousands of times per minute.
Just tearing up people's sprinkler heads, running over dog crap, spewing it in the air.
Or a dog.
It could be scarier than driving a car.
An Ohio man claimed that the only reason he robbed a gas station is because he was in dire straits. I'm not doing this robbing for sport, Your Honor. I'm doing it because I need this bread.
Right.
I got a cocaine debt I got to pay off.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, we got a place for you. Yeah, sit
Gotta
your
pay
ass
that
right down
debt.
there.
You can still pay off the cocaine debt with like a paycheck from somewhere.
You could do that.
don't
Could get
have
a
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But no,
Exactly.
he got to pay today.
This is Big Worm. He wants his money pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Tonight,
Yeah.
right? Or somebody's gonna get dealt with.
Can't wait for the 3 weeks for your first paycheck and W-2s and all that. Who's got the time, to be honest with you? Well, I tell you, more and more videos are coming out about people road raging each other. 3 women were spotted attacking each other in a road rage brawl in Chicago. I-57, lady is on there, shows a woman in a black car cut across lanes and force her way in front of a silver Hyundai. Oh boy, silver Hyundai didn't like that. And let me tell you, baseball bats were introduced, punches were thrown. It was just all bad. By the time the police showed up, the woman had bailed, bruised and battered.
Chi-Town.
Chi-Town being Chi-Town on the program. Chi-Town being a little Detroity.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm not doing that one. That one's stupid. Hey, these digital billboards are pretty dope.
Yeah, technology, man, crazy.
I tell you, I will tell you, unless it goes wrong. One day I was driving up one of the highways here, and I saw one of the digital billboards. And have you ever had your computer die and it gives you that blue screen of death? Yeah, the computer, the
That's just
billboard.
what it had?
Yeah, that's what it had it up.
Oh,
I took a screenshot of it. I took a shot of it and everything else. But anyway, that's Nathan compared to what happened in Michigan. Police in Auburn Hills, Michigan are looking for the person who figured out how to play a porno video on a digital billboard along a highway. That video played for 15 to 20 minutes.
No. How many car crashes?
That's what I'm saying. How many traffic jams did that shit cause?
Crashes.
People pulled over.
Right. That's
Yeah,
like,
you can't.
oh, that's Shiny Heinies Volume 3. I know this movie anywhere.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
I
I can't imagine seeing that.
I saw a store that had porn on their display TVs, like out front of the store. This week. Yeah, and like when the employees finally got there to like open the place and shut the TVs off, there was like 200 people outside the store. Watching
Just
porn
watching?
together, like a group porn.
Right.
I wouldn't be comfortable with that.
If y'all got this on the outside, I can only imagine what y'all got on
What y'all
inside.
selling?
Whatever it is, I want 2 of them.
Want some?
Speaking of sex items, a burglar broke into a North Carolina home, made off with $450 worth of items. But the item I think that the homeowner was most upset about was their vibrating love toy. So you're gonna take my rings. You're gonna sit there and take my Blu-ray player. You took my DVR and you took Mr. Wonderful, my little 12-inch electronic vibrating wand.
12-inch.
You
She
know,
greedy.
Listen, those things they can get quite pricey.
Good luck dating her.
That probably costs more than her ring.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the one thing that she had an emotional attachment to.
It did the tickle in the bottom.
Oh Lord.
Now I know that we said we made the argument that we're not going to talk about the president that's there right now, number
Right.
45.
Right.
But I have to go ahead and share this because this is an item that I just think is too good to pass up, and that is an American hero. His name is Robert De Niro.
Bob.
Oh yes.
And Bob went on TV and kept it so real.
100.
If you didn't hear it, this is him when he's talking about Fox News.
Folks on Fox come after you. I remember the Tonys when he got up there and cursed. A lot of criticism of you.
Fuck 'em.
Okay, well, you know, this is cable,
Sorry.
so it's not an FCC violation, but it is still a Sunday morning.
Well,
I do wonder why you choose to go that way.
Let me say something.
Why do you choose to go that way?
We are in a moment in our life, in this country, where this guy is like a gangster. He's come along and he's said things, done things we say over and over again. This is terrible. We're in a terrible situation.
He said, fuck him.
There were no beeps
Several
on CNN,
times.
and it was live TV. Fantastic. Yo, listen, if we're gonna go there, let me just throw something else out there too. They say that the current dude who is the president of the United States thought that they should build a moat around the border.
And we should be killing people.
And fill it with alligators and snakes.
And don't forget about shooting
Wow.
people.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah, shoot them only in the legs though, Mark. And it should be electric with spikes on the top.
He's crazy.
I said, this is a 7-year-old's border wall. Look, we're going to fill it with snakes and alligators? What? All right, we
It's
can move
so
on.
ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
Do you guys remember the story out of South Florida, West Palm Beach specifically, when the boy stole his grandma's car? He said, I like to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
Right, yeah.
They actually ended up doing a whole Boondocks episode on that. Do you remember that? Well, guess what? I guess a 9-year-old must have went on YouTube and said, damn it, I can do that too. 9-year-old in Ohio stole his grandmother's van and drove off. State troopers started getting multiple 911 calls reporting a reckless driver on I-75. The van crashed into 2 other cars and then exited. It wasn't until the aftermath of the crash that the troopers realized, oh, that's a 9-year-old in there.
Where was he?
Did Ted White show up? Shout out to Ted White.
Ted White being the reporter on the first time that happened.
What's up, kid?
That kid who stole that, he's got to be about 20 years old. Right?
Yeah, he's been through a lot too. It ain't been good.
No.
It ain't like the tables turned.
Well, look where it started.
Like do hood rat stuff.
This lady here, she's not going to get this guy to marry her. She crazy as hell. First of all, she's from Florida. She's 43 years old, and she puts out cigarettes on her boyfriend's forehead.
I don't know. That's not how you get them.
To argue when the victim came home from work and pushed him several times. Then she took her lit, what I presume to be Newport, maybe it was a Marlboro Red, and she decided to extinguish it on his forehead. Police were called. Short time later, the victim suffered minor injuries, and he's got a scar permanently around about the size of a cigarette on his forehead.
You know what I always say? That was the final straw for her. She had it. She had to.
Andy, I can't believe you can defend that behavior.
Well, you don't know the backstory. You know how the
Do you?
people
Is
say,
there
you don't
needs to be a
know-
backstory?
You don't know what happened before.
So if you
the
come to work right
cigarette
now with a
burn.
cigarette burn on your head, right?
I could have did something crazy.
Don't judge him. I was tripping.
I could have bashed him in the head with a pot first.
That's true. Well, let me tell you, a misheard word led authorities to evacuate a school, a high school in Florida. On Wednesday, a student's family member called a staff member because she thought she heard the student say they had a bomb in their backpack. And later they said, no, I didn't say I had a bomb. I said I had a bong. I have a bong in the backpack.
You still ruined their day.
Yeah, exactly. Get it straight. 92-year-old woman shows why she should not be driving right now.
Of course not.
No.
I don't even need the story.
She should not be driving. Anyway, she is at a used car dealership.
Trying to buy a car?
Yep, a Nissan Sentra, mind you.
Oh, sporty.
Very nice. And she gets there, and it's like, I really need a car. I just need some place to go to bingo. I go to the church and Bible study, and then I drive it home. I'm going to have this car for the next 2-3 years of my life, and then I'm going to gift it to my grandbaby. All right, let's show you around. So they take on a test drive. I'm sure that test drive was all of 5 to 10 miles an hour. Part of that test drive, though, ended with her driving through the car dealership window.
Not surprised.
So let me get this straight. The accelerator, what makes it go faster, is on the right, and the thing that stops it's on the... Okay, I got
After
it.
Who
75.
renewed her license?
After 75, you got to take it every year. You got to take an exam every year.
You know, there was a radio bit when I was doing mornings, and I don't think you two were on the show yet. I did this bit where I took my little recorder out over to this grocery store where the old people shop at.
Oh no.
All right.
Okay.
And there's an area of South Florida called Century Village, and the closest grocery store to that is a grocery store called a Publix.
Yep.
And I sat out there with my recorder, and I deliberately stopped old people, and I said, "Hey, I do a radio show, and I just wanted to ask this question. We're doing a survey. What's too old to drive?" So I'm asking the old people,
Right.
what's too old to
Did
drive?
somebody cuss you out?
No, the answers were really interesting. These old folks was like 75, 80. This one guy said, "Well, I think 90. I said, "If you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?" "I'm 87. I got 3 more years." Like, "No, bitch, you done now. Give me your car keys."
Oh boy.
In Florida, if you see a Cadillac and it ain't sitting on them things, it's an old person driving.
You may be able to buy it later on with 10,000 miles on it. for
Right.
Very little money.
Car's 14 years old, but yeah, 10,000 miles on it. Plano, Texas. Speaking of grandma got sick and tired of the fighting between her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. So she says, "You know what? I'm sick and tired of y'all arguing in my house, and I told you twice now to shut the fuck up." Grabs the pepper spray, sprays both of them.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should stop the fight.
Of course.
Probably her house.
Probably is her house. Yeah, stop the fight. Mission accomplished. Customers anger over orange juice gets into a fight with the manager at IHOP. Now, this has bothered me before, but not to the point where I want to start throwing blows. The customers were told after their first glass of orange juice, "This is not a Diet Dr. Pepper.
There's no free refills.
There's no free refills."
Orange juice, yeah.
The fuck you mean no free refills? Let me see the manager. Manager goes, "She's right. There's no free refills. No free refills. I'm sorry," and punched them. A brouhaha erupts.
There's an entire library of fights at IHOP on YouTube.
Really?
I'm not surprised.
There's only 4 places open late night, Indy.
Yeah.
IHOP is one of them.
And Waffle House is the other.
But you can only fit 10 drunk people in Waffle House. You can fit 50,
Yeah.
60 in IHOP.
Yeah, they've got a higher capacity.
Yep.
Exactly.
No. You're right.
Now, this is totally ending, not to paint women with a broad brush.
Okay.
Like you always do.
But I'm going to go ahead and paint women with a broad brush.
Okay.
This is a female being a female. And Indy, you know what? You say I do it, but you do the shit too. Anyway, a woman reportedly calls 911 to complain that the man wouldn't answer her calls after she complained one time before that he won't stop calling. So she told him, "Stop calling me. You're harassing me. Leave me alone." He stops calling her. Then she started calling him. He's like, "No, you told me not to call." So she's furious. She calls 911 to
Calls
say,
the cops.
"He ain't answering my phones now."
Well, I can explain that. See, in the beginning, she didn't like him. And then she decided that she did like him.
Once he
So
started
now-
ignoring her ass, she likes him now.
She likes him now. So now you got to answer my calls.
Y'all, what
That's how
the
it
kind of
goes. You gotta
cruel
answer.
shit is that? What kind of unwarranted...
Don't call me if I don't want you to, but you better pick up my call.
Right.
If I want.
I don't want you, but I don't want nobody else to want you either.
It makes sense to me.
All right, so it's almost Halloween. We're getting closer and closer. They did the most popular Halloween candy in every state.
Reese's Cup.
Well, Reese's did win a number of states. Actually, in my opinion, the bulk of them. Washington State, where Seattle is, Oregon, Idaho, Arizona, New Mexico, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas.
Bunch of fat asses.
Yeah, all these places. Wisconsin.
Not Texas?
Texas is, any guesses?
Snickers.
Not as many Snickers as I thought. Only Snickers I see here is like Georgia and like Massachusetts.
Texas,
Jersey.
Texas' favorite candy?
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat, India, I only see one, and that's California. Texas is M&M's.
Oh.
Boring.
Yeah,
I like
M&M's.
M&Ms.
I like M&M's too if they got peanut butter or peanuts or...
M&M's is Texas and Florida. I only see one Jolly Rancher, and that's Illinois. Swedish Fish for Kentucky. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Kentucky on the program.
Red Hots. All these places. Yep.
Where's Red Hots? Where's
Red Hots is in Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah. They eat Red Hots and burn crosses.
Absolutely. No candy corn, though.
Oh.
Candy corn is disgusting.
Candy corn always gets the short end.
So this is a freak accident. This is exactly one of the reasons why I don't exercise. A guy finishing one of those long races, when those, he a 50-kilometer race, which is 31 miles. He gets to the finish line.
Damn.
And he gets struck by lightning. True story, happened out of Kansas.
What?
Said the day was hot and sunny before a small storm hit, and they said lightning bolt came down as soon as that storm came in and zapped his ass right as he crossed the finish line.
Did it follow him for 50
It said
kilometers?
The lightning was like, no, let him finish the fucking race. Don't be an asshole. That's what the lightning bolt said. No, don't do that. That's the lightning bolt.
Sad.
Like a little cartoon cloud above his head the whole time?
Yeah, exactly.
That's almost like no good deed goes.
But it's exactly. A church in West Palm Beach is replacing poles with pews. New Sound Church has been in Wellington High School, has about 1,000 members, but they said, we got to get out of there. So they found Double D's Ranch on Southern Boulevard, and they turned that strip club from a bar into strip club into the Lord's house.
Gonna wash away
That's
all
a real
the
good
sin.
deed.
All the signs which would be booty bumping and twerking is now going to be replaced with communion and baptism.
Oh no, I think the strip club spirit is still gonna be in there. Huh?
We're going to wash it clean with some prayers. A Utah man was gored and trampled by a bison. I don't know why people keep fucking with these bison at a state park. This happened in June of this year. But he's better now. So he goes on a date, and he goes back to that same park.
Back?
Right. Over the weekend. Brings his date there. He says, so this is, I was right there. That's where I got gored. I don't know if it was the same buffalo, but that buffalo said, these folks just don't learn, do they? Well, I'm going to have to get his girlfriend this time. Got her.
That was a setup.
Yeah.
She probably put a cigarette out in his forehead last week, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to take you to that park I went to.
She hit the ground, fractured her ankle, and her thigh gushed blood from where the bison gored her.
You saw that video from a couple months ago. That girl got flipped by that buffalo. You saw that?
End over end, she got flipped.
I mean, she was about 20, 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, I mean, it was like something like out of the Ringling Brothers Circus.
Did you see the woman that went inside of the area where the lion was on purpose?
I don't understand that, though.
Why?
That's either insanity or drugs. There ain't no other.
No, you're right.
You're going to enter the lion display at the zoo and dance?
Yeah, I don't get that.
The lion looked
for
confused
social
as hell.
media? Yeah, he's like, you really trying to die today, huh?
That could be, though, Andy. That social media thing is that real with people. I might
That they
get some
want likes. Yeah.
I'll risk my life.
Well, they're saying that she could go to jail for that now. Yeah. I mean, people are crazy.
As she should go to jail.
So a guy who recently got pulled over for speeding said, I got the perfect alibi. I got the perfect reason. You listen, the reason I was speeding is because the folks in this car with me, and you can stick your head in here, officer, if you want to. They've been farting like crazy, and I'm just trying to go home.
Just trying to get to the crib.
Just trying to get out of here as quick as I can.
I can believe that.
Only one of these windows works.
Let me ask you this. People think farts are funny. They really pissed me off.
Oh, you couldn't work with Vita in the morning then. You'd be mad every day.
And a girl farting is just on another level of disgusting.
She thinks it's the funniest thing ever.
That'll ruin you to me, young ladies, just so you know.
Yeah, I don't look at you the same.
It'll never be the same.
Everybody does it. Yeah, I got it. I get it. All right, so here's an interesting stat. 46% of people wish this was never invented.
The internet.
Indy?
The internet.
No. Smartphones.
Yeah, same difference.
Same, yeah, that's the same
You're
thing.
right, though. No, you know what? The internet wasn't that bad
Until we
phones.
had it on our phones.
You know what I heard the other day? Because I was joking with my kid. I always say BRB. That's what the kids are saying, right? And my daughter's always like, no. You know
What's
why we
BRB?
used to say BRB? Be right back. Because we'd be online, and then we had to leave that room to eat or poop or watch television.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't constantly on us. We
Right.
actually had to
Leave the internet.
sit down, be in the corner of the house.
Right. And if you weren't, and the other thing too, I can go really old, if you weren't home, you just weren't fucking home.
You just
Yeah.
weren't home. You weren't
I mean,
on the
there's some
internet.
good things about having it, but there's some bad things as well.
True.
46% of people wish that smartphones had never been invented because of how they are attached to us and how they have affected
and their
us.
distraction.
They've pretty much ruined us. They've ruined interaction for sure.
Relationships, like you don't even know how to talk to people anymore. You used to texting and messaging.
Yeah,
And
it's just weird.
You could strike up a conversation with a stranger at an airport, right? That shit ain't happening now.
No.
Everybody's
Don't you
on their
see
phone.
I'm looking at my phone?
People won't even look up when they see you.
Totally.
Woman finds a $250,000 Rolex in her thrift store couch.
That's hers.
Yep, and she says, I got it, and I'm going to buy a house and a boob job.
But don't worry, I'll come back to the thrift store and spend some money here.
Absolutely. Some people like the thrift. Now I see why. And I'll end with this one. Percentage of women, 49% of women do this. They drop hints when they want a guy to propose. They try to prime the pump, so to speak.
of course we do.
Okay.
And the top 5 hints that they drop. You ready for these? When you walk by a jewelry store, she says, ooh, let me just look in here real quick. Ooh, I like that one. I like that. That's marquee cut. I think that's cute. Number 4, she forwards you emails from jewelry brands. Well, that's subtle. 3, she buys wedding magazines and leaves them out so you can see them. Real passive aggressive. She keeps talking about weddings or other people that got engaged. Oh, well, you know, so-and-so's getting married.
Yeah,
Everybody's getting married. Have you noticed that?
That's real.
Time out. 1 minute you say we're never clear. We don't say what we mean.
This
we
is
don't
not
act-
clear.
It is clear.
It's passive
Those are
aggressive.
very clear hints.
There's one more.
There's
one more.
very clear.
And the last one. You notice her watching a lot of shows or movies about weddings and proposals. Let's sit down and watch 4 weddings and a funeral again.
Because we have to put it in your heads.
All my wife watches is murders. Should I be scared?
I would be concerned. I would be
I
concerned.
like murder shows too.
Well, there it is.
Yeah, they got a South Park episode about murder porn. Ever seen that?
Oh, no.
It's just adults like to watch murders together at night and get turned on.
They do. What a sick world. All right, that's another McCrazy Talk podcast. Don't forget, subscribe. Apples. Listen to me.
Apple.
Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Take it.